Hi everyone, just going to get started now, giving the presentation on the Unit network. It's a technology overview of the system developed, and really excited and looking forward to sharing. So to begin with, I'm going to speak a little bit about the history of the blockchain, about digital assets. Here you can see three different projects. You can see Bitcoin at the top, you can see Ethereum on the left, and Polkadot on the right. So Bitcoin is, as mentioned here on the website, is an innovative payment network and a new kind of money. So it was a really amazing innovation from this anonymous individual, pseudo-anonymous individual, Satoshi Nakamoto, which allowed different people to pay one another. It allowed people to store value and transact in a trustless way, meaning you didn't have to trust a bank, you didn't have to trust something like PayPal, and a company in San Francisco. It was a decentralized way of making payments and holding value. And then, Ethereum was a evolution of this. It basically allowed you to build on top of this technology called the blockchain. It was permissionless. It was non-hierarchical network of many different computers, and allowed people to basically build on top of this global ledger. And the founder of one of the founders of Ethereum, Gavin Wood, he basically took a lot of this knowledge from building Ethereum and created this more scalable version of Ethereum called Polkadot. And Polkadot is a blockchain builder. Really excited to talk more about Polkadot in the Polkadot talk later today. So I'm really looking forward to talking more. So Bitcoin was peer-to-peer money. Ethereum was like a decentralized blockchain platform, so you could build anything on the blockchain. And Polkadot is basically a blockchain builder. So what has come out from this blockchain revolution? So here are two social projects which are quite interesting. One is Rally, which basically allows you to create cryptocurrency or digital assets for communities. However, it's a permission network. So that basically means that to be a token on Rally, you need to get approval from Rally. And BitClout was quite controversial earlier this year because they created a number of coins and tokens for really well-known people in the Twitter sphere, people with lots of followers, and basically introduced people to the idea of issuing tokens for individuals. So us at Unit, we've been very passionate about and providing technology for people to issue tokens for many years. And BitClout, really grateful for it, sort of making everyone realize how powerful this token economy is. Exchanges, so really excited. In an hour, actually going to be talking about the start of exchanges, different forms of exchanges. Two leading exchanges are Coinbase and the decentralized blockchain-based version of a crypto exchange is an example like Uniswap or PancakeSwap or SushiSwap. So these are decentralized exchanges. So really amazing inspiration in terms of how we've managed to build the Unit network technology. So in terms of an overview of the Unit network, there are maybe five main parts. There's the homepage, there's the wallet where you have different tokens and coins. There's the explore page where you can see different tokens within the token economy. There's your profile, so that's your individual personal identity, and then the token page where you can see a bunch of information about a particular token. You can interact with a particular token, and when you create a token, you basically get 7 different features. You get the info page, which gives you information about a token. You have the community page, and that basically gives you some community features about a token. You've got the sale page where you can buy the token. You've got the bank, so you can see in the bank how much funds the project has for operating, whether it's staff, for rent, for scaling, how it's operational, successes. The Treasury basically gives you the underlying value, which backs up the token's lowest price. So how you calculate it, the token's lowest price is you look at how much is in the Treasury, you divide it by the supply of that token, and it gives you the lowest price of it. And then finally, 2 things which are super exciting, providing the liquidity for tokens, is the exchange and the staking. So to begin with, there's the login page, super easy, email and password. Very, very conventional to, I guess, log in the Web 2.0 world to use email and password. We're trying to see how we can bridge this Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, where instead of logging in with an email and a password in a central database, you can use your email and password and a PIN to log in into a decentralized network. So, things like Bitcoin, you need a private key to basically use and interact the network. We're working to make it such that, you don't have to remember this really long string. You can have an email and a password, which basically gives you access to that underlying private key. So it's a much more friendly and easy way for the mainstream to benefit from this Web 3.0 sort of shift. Sign up. So, to log in, you need to have an account, but to sign up, you need to be invited. So if you try to register to the Unit network, it's going to tell you, sorry, we can't find your name on the invite list. But if you receive an invitation from someone, then you receive a form like this, and that basically allows you to create an account. Here you have your wallet. So the wallet basically shows you the portfolio of different tokens you hold, as well as what tokens you've staked, as well as what tokens you've created and which tokens you're a part of. Also, you have the opportunity to transfer tokens. So you basically add a username, a quantity that you want to transfer, and what is the symbol of the token that you want to transfer. And then very straightforward to deposit, very straightforward to withdraw. And this handles 8 different cryptocurrencies. So it accepts Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Kusama, Link, Matic, BNB. And the reason why we support all of these different digital assets is because we believe that these are really strong ecosystems, which we're excited to build on top of. And we think that all of these, I missed out Solana too, is that these ones have a long future ahead, and they're a good base to build upon. Easy to withdraw tokens too. Basically set the token you want to withdraw, the quantity, and the address by which you're withdrawing towards. The explore page basically shows you a long list of tokens. You can search by different tokens. You can filter it by industry for our industry tokens, our city tokens, as well as our stable tokens. You can create tokens. So, it's super easy to create a token. You just give it a name, a symbol, a supply, and a picture, and you can easily create a token. We believe, and we're pretty confident that this is the easiest, most powerful token building platform that currently exists in the world, and really excited to bring this technology of token creation to everyone in the world. The profile page, so this basically allows people to fill out their bio, and you can read about people, learn about them, see what tokens they hold, as well as see what their dream is. So you can see what their underlying motivation is, and when working with them or collaborating, you can help them realize their dream. And then the settings page is basically lets you fill up all of that information. The chats, so this basically allows you direct chats. We're soon to be supporting group chats, and really excited because the way in which we're building this is such that it's done in a decentralized way. So, there isn't a single company in San Francisco or somewhere in the world which has an opportunity to, read your messages or freeze your messages or prevent you from accessing your messages. So really excited about this aspect. The team page. So this basically is the page by which you can see your invite link to invite people to the Unit network. And the cool thing is that when people get invited to the platform, when they trade and engage with the system, some of the fees which are generated go to the person who invited you. So, we believe that, network effects are super strong. If you were one of the first users of Instagram or one of the first users of WhatsApp, you didn't benefit from any of the growth of the network. All of it went to the people who started it and the people who invested in the people who started it. We believe that, the way that value is distributed through our team feature allows the customers, the employees, the community to benefit from the financial upside of the value creation, basically, in a super transparent and fair way. The token info page, so this basically gives you an overview of a particular token. The invites feature, so beneath every token, you have an opportunity to alongside sending someone an invite link, you can add their email address here, so that when you do try and create an account, it will say, cool, we found you on the list, and it basically adds that person to your team. The token question, so this basically allows you to ask a question to the token. And you can also upvote different questions. Yep, and learn more about a particular token-based project. Token team. Token team basically lets you see the advisors and the operational team for a token. And really cool here, if you look really closely, there's a cliff and a vest period. So basically, one thing that is super important for projects is that the operating team, the people who are are running it are motivated in the long haul to make it a success. At Unit, we have a 3-year cliff and a 5-year vest. And, we believe that, many of us will be working on this for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. We have a minimum of a 3-year cliff and a 5-year vest so that, we get people on board who are not, interested in working on Unit for, 6 months or 5 months or 2 months or 2 years. They really believe in the long-term potential for how what we're doing can, revolutionize society and humanity. And it really sets a precedent up front as to the commitment that people are willing to engage in Unit with. There's also a leaderboard, so it adds a level of gamification so that people can kind of compete, and you can see the level of token holding, so that for instance, if it's a token for a fundraiser to build a new school, people can enjoy to compete to be seen to be the person who's most supporting that school, or basically allows making it to more fun or a game to compete. There's a community search feature, so this is like a marketplace where you can type in a search tag, and if people added this search tag in their settings, then you can find them. So it basically allows you to create your own Uber, create your own Airbnb, create your own marketplace, and then you allow these community members to search within that marketplace, which is super exciting. The events page is really cool. So this allows you to create an event, whether it's live or online. The Unit conference, World Unit Forum, which we're in now, is an example of an event of the Unit token. So really excited for people to organize their own unconferences, their own events, whether it's live or in person. We strongly believe that this is a super powerful feature. Also, it supports networking too. So if someone creates an event, they can also we also have a feature mentioned earlier in the Unit conference presentation about how people can click a button and get matched with someone else who's at the event, and they can have a one-to-one conversation virtually. Unit news. So this is really cool because people can basically submit news articles or submit questions or discussions which people can comment on. So it's like a way of building your own Reddit, and instead of Reddit just benefiting from all the upside of the traffic and the advertising revenue, this allows that individual token to benefit and increase that engagement for the token. So if you created your own Bitcoin for a particular restaurant, your own token for a particular restaurant, you have your own Reddit to keep everyone up to date, have discussions and debates. Polls. So this is very closely related to governance. It's very, very interesting how politics works at the moment, where it's largely unaccountable. So vote is confidential. So even if a vote is rigged, you can't really see the vote because it's all anonymous. You just have to trust that the politicians are being honest about playing a fair game when it's actually not in their interest. Because if they rig the election, then they definitely will win. If they don't rig the election, then they might lose. So it's really not in their interest of a fair poll or a fair election. So we believe that this is super interesting because all of the data is completely open, and it's up to the token creator, the token operators, the token team to interpret the data. They could take option 1, which might have not so many tokens backing it, but it's got the most people, or they could go for option 2, which might not have the most people and not the most votes, but the operators of it believe that this is best for the long-term success of the organization. So it's really up to the interpretation and the transparency that we think organizations can thrive. Community contests. So this is a way of incentivizing action. So people can set a title. Whether it's if you have a small business and you say, hey, if you share about our new promotion on social media, we're going to give you this many tokens. So we're essentially giving you part of the small business. If you're a social media let's say influencer, or you're a musician, you could say, hey, share my new album or share my new video, and you can get this amount of tokens. Or let's say if you're a climate activist, you could say, hey, pick up 1 kilogram of plastic, take a picture, submit it to my contest, and I'll reward you a number of tokens. Let's say you needed a new commercial, or you needed a new video to be produced. You could give out prizes to 1,000 people. Let's say you could give $100, $100,000, but you produce 1,000 different videos. So contests, we believe, are a really good way of incentivizing action as well as rewarding people for behavior. Stores is super interesting. This supports subscriptions and sales of products and services. So we're really excited here because we think that, something like Shopify is super, super cool. Something like Amazon is really amazing. But, what we're doing here with a decentralized store provides the opportunity for micro entrepreneurs to sell products and services in a way which protects both the customer as well as the seller. So really excited for that. Also super cool is the fact that people are using tokens to transact. So if you ask most people who are big fans of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or digital assets, whether they've actually bought or used their tokens for anything, many of them would be they'll say no. They'll just say they trade it, but they don't actually use it. So we're really excited that we actually get people buying and selling products. The sale feature. So this basically lets people buy the token from the operator. And how that happens is people basically set a number of sales stages. So here you can see the sales stages for the unit token sale. There's 5 different stages. It started off at 10 cents, 20 cents, 40 cents, 80 cents, $1, and unit raises $25 million for a total of 50 million tokens. So let's say if you created a Sam token, a Chris token, a Zachary token, a Gil's token, you can really choose however many tokens and at what price you want to set it at. So it's quite cool. And it also allows people to be rewarded if they're one of the early adopters of a token. Token bank, so as mentioned before, this is the operating funds for a project. So now at the moment, if you invest in a company or invest in a project, you could have quarterly returns, or you need to trust the founder or the CEO to kind of tell you how it's doing operationally. And they could kind of, tell you the truth, or they could kind of, mess the books. It's even, heavily regulated things like stock publicly traded companies like Wirecard, one of the biggest stock public companies. Last year in Germany, they pretended to have $2 billion. So they told they've hired actors to trick the auditors, and it went from a $40 billion company to bankrupt overnight. So the cool thing about the bank is it's all on the blockchain. You can see here, if there's Bitcoin, ETH, DOT in the bank, then it's there. If it's not there, then there's no discussion about it. It's either there or it's not there. This is very, very clear in terms of how the operational performances for rent, for staff. And what happens if there's lots of funds in the bank? Then the project should really move it to the Treasury, because the Treasury backs up the floor price for the token. So if let's say you bought into a particular restaurant and you wanted to know, okay, how risky is this this token? You see how much is in the Treasury. So if it's like a $100,000 project and there's only $10,000 in the Treasury, if the restaurant shuts and you have 50% of the tokens of the restaurant, your 50% of 100,000 restaurant now is only 50% of a $10,000 Treasury. So the Treasury basically gives you like a bit of safety net and gives that downside risk. So this is a huge innovation, which we think is super cutting edge in the token economy and the blockchain world, which we think is going to bring tokens to the mainstream and allows for real projects, real businesses to build on top of the token economy. Next is the exchange feature. The exchange feature is amazing because it basically allows any token to have liquidity. So this uses this thing called an automated market maker. And what that basically means, and we're going to be covering it in the exchange talk later, is people can basically add tokens to the pool. So they add USDU and they add tokens, the other token that's paired to, and people can basically exchange against it. So if you had a stake in, let's say, a restaurant or a small business or a design agency, it might not have liquidity, meaning nobody might buy your 10% stake. But if it was held in tokens, you simply need to stake it to the pool, and then people can exchange against it. So here you can see on the staking page, people stake the 2 tokens into the pool, and then people exchange against it. There is a 2% fee, a 2% exchange fee, which is taken on the exchange, and this gets split 4 ways. So 1/4 goes to the person who invited you to the platform. So that's rewarding them for essentially helping create this economic activity. 1/4 goes to the exchange pool. So the people who staked it, they get rewarded for providing this liquidity and providing the tokens to trade against. 1/4 goes into the tokens treasury. So if you created a Chris treasury or a Sam or a Zachary treasury, a Zachary token, then when people trade this token, your treasury builds up. So it builds up that floor price. And then finally 1/4 goes to the unit treasury, which benefits across all the different tokens in the unit token economy. And finally, in terms of the roadmap, we're working hard on building this platform and technology. We're very excited to get it to a point of 100% decentralization, where basically it's unstoppable and it's so decentralized that even us as a core team, even if we try to make a difference to it, we couldn't because it's so distributed. It's kind of like the English language. So if you invented, the English language and you wanted to change some words from, let's say you wanted to change please to be a bad word, you couldn't because everyone now, understands please to be a nice word. So we're excited to get Unit to a point where, even if us as Unit wanted to, change it for the worse, we couldn't do that because it's so decentralized and nobody can come to us and manipulate the system for the worse. It's uncorruptible. And finally, contact. So if anyone has any thoughts, feedback, questions, please feel free to reach out. And we're actively looking to build our team and looking for advisors, team members, partners, and contributors. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.